Welcome to Space Startup News Live. I stream every week at the same time, and the format is I cover if I've done this week. So normally I do two dedicated videos, and then follow up with a news video at the end of the week, and then I have this live stream. So the format's the same, and if you can join me live, that's great. If not, you can always watch it later. So basically videos, I have a few graphics for each video and spend some time on some of the details. I'll bring up some comments made on the videos by people, answer chat messages, cover anything I didn't cover in the videos for whatever reason. I also cover other space for whatever reason I didn't cover during the week, and I preview upcoming content for the week. And so yeah, that's the format. It's great for the live stream. So let's get into the first video of the week, which is, there it is. Put myself in the corner here. So this is Firefly Eclipse, the new launch vehicle from Firefly. So previous to this video, I did video on Flight 6, Firefly Flight 6, which failed, and the success rate for the Alpha, their small rocket, is about 33%. It's like 2 successes out of 6 failures and 2 that were kind of partial success, partial failure, depending how you want to look at it. Just a customer point of view, it's not great. They just want every rocket to succeed. They've had 6 flights, and with a 33%, so the vehicle is not doing well, and it's competing with Rocket Lab that has 5% success rate. They've flown over 60 times. It costs $700 for Rocket Lab Electron vehicle and $15 million for the Firefly Alpha. So it's much more likely to succeed, and they're very frequent in flying. So Firefly has problems with their rocket. So at the end of that video, I gave possible options for them. One is persevere with the Alpha rocket. The second is to a medium launch vehicle. And the third was just get out of launching rockets and maybe landers. The Blue Ghost lunar lander from Firefly was 100% successful. It was a fantastic mission, and it worked perfectly. So they could just go into a different market. That's it. So it looks maybe that they're going to pivot towards the medium launch. You can see it on the screen here. I'll bring up the stats. They may just decide to pivot to it's less competitive, and you can launch a wider range of missions. You can do satellite constellations. You can do the satellites, GPS satellites that are quite lucrative. You got national security payload, dome. So there's lots of opportunities. It's less competitive, but you do need a bigger rocket. Here's the bigger rocket. It's called Eclipse. It has 7 Miranda engines and 1 Vera engine on the second stage. So the Miranda engines are just the same as the on the Alpha. They just scaled them up, so it's kind of like a low risk. They're taking the existing engine cycle. Hi, thank you for joining. So it's a scaled up version of the Reaver engine. It's called Miranda. There's going to be 7 on the first stage, and then 1 on the second stage, and it can lift 16 into low Earth orbit, which is pretty good. 16 tons. For instance, Rocket Lab's Neutron launch vehicle will be 13 tons. Falcon 9 is about 22 tons. But the thing to know for the transporter missions, the rideshare missions, which are very popular, they're never mass constrained. Typically, it could be just like 5 tons of launching. The problem is always volume constraint. Like that can fit in the payload fairing is what constrains the inches. So typically mass is not an issue. 16 tons is plenty. They can launch big. So yeah, it's looking good, and we'll see how it goes. $50 million from Northrop Grumman, which is you know, a nice investment. So Draco King is saying first stage reusable. Yes, they're working on RTLS, which is return to launch site, so it will be reusable. So that's new technology for them. So we'll see how that goes first few times. But yeah, and here is one of the graphics. I just off the screen for the moment. So the performance is low Earth orbit, 16 tons, over 16 tons. Geotransfer orbit, that's for like GPS satellites or whatever, 1,200 tons, and translunar injection, 2,300. So it can send over 2 tons to the moon, which is pretty good. Yeah, and low Earth orbit, 16 tons, which is fine. And yes, I'll bring up this graphic as well. So here's the competition. It is if you don't have to deal with the smaller rocket launch companies, but there are a few established. So SpaceX is obviously the huge competitor. So here are alternatives to SpaceX. So Blue Origin has launched their New Glenn, only one so far. I could put myself down here, I think. Actually, put me here. So New just once. You know, they just started with their New Glenn V. It's 45 tons. It's massive. It's a beast. But it's not approved for national security payloads at the moment. Then you have Vulcan Centaur, which has launched 2 times now, and because it's launched twice, it is now approved for national security payloads, and it's 10 tons to low Earth orbit. They're using the same engines as Blue Origin engines. So those are the 2 launchers that are actually operational. Then you've got the Rocket Lab Neutron that's launching later this year. It was to be summer 2025, second half, but it's launching soon, and that'll be 13 tons. Stoke Space with their Nova Vic, guessing it's around 10 tons. They've already been on-ramped to National Security Base, Rocket Lab. And yeah, just get rid of myself here. That one, this one here. And yeah, get rid of myself. So you can see Terran R stands for reusable, is from Relatively Space. That's over 23 tons. Maybe next year, maybe 2026. We'll see how it goes. And then you got Firefly Aerospace with their, which is 16 tons. So this is the competition in the medium vehicle market. So we'll see how things shake out. We've got 2 working at the moment, 2 operational, and 4 that's going to be operational over the next 2 years, 1 to 2 years, with Rocket Lab probably launch. Of these, they I think all yes, all of these are reusable. These return back to the launch site or to like offshore drone ship. Yeah, they're all reusable here. The only one that's not at the moment is the Vulcan Centaur. Yeah. Got from Art says, I love the Nova design, so do I. There's so much new technology on that. I love the active shield as it comes back. The metallic shield they're using. It uses an aerospike engine. Yeah, it's fully first and second stage. So there's tons of new technology on Stoke Space vehicle. See how it goes. Yeah, first flight is 2026, I believe, for Stoke Space. And Draro King is saying, I wish Sir Peter Beck all of them. He seems to be a very likable person. I like Peter Beck a lot as well. And he's fantastic. Over 60 launches for Electron. It launches frequently now, probably the second large company after SpaceX. And when they launched Neutron, direct competitor to SpaceX for the very first time. Oh, I'll bring myself up now. Put myself in the corner if I can. Yeah. Yeah, SpaceX has real competition, but they will soon with Rocket Lab Neutron. That'll be some real competition. Great. So that is. Oh yeah, I'll bring up the comments. So we had a few comments about the Firefly Eclipse video. Wingsley says the more participation in the commercial launch market, the better. I hope Firefly, ULA, Blue Origin, others all get a piece of the pie. Yeah, I don't know how many can survive launch market. There's about 6 of them there, so we'll see. I mean, so we'll see who successful and who isn't. And it says, awesome news indeed. Thanks for the great work. Keep it up. Thank you. And AR West for YB says, excellent news. Thanks for the update. No problem. So that the first video, Firefly Eclipse. Obviously, I'll keep up to date on that vehicle as it goes along, and also on Blue Ghost Lunar Lander. Then we've got the second mission. I think they got a contract for the third mission as well. 3 or even 4 missions. Ghost is going fantastic, and Eclipse is they're working on Eclipse. It should launch next year. I'm not sure about the Alpha vehicle, whether they're keeping that around or not. I guess we'll find out. So that's the first vehicle. So let's move on. That's the first video. Let's move on to the second video this week, which is NASA's new direction. So the budget, the financial year 2026 budget proposal came out a week or 2 ago. So I decided to cover it because of important stuff that's relevant for space startups, relevant for anyone interested in news. Obviously, the budget for NASA is very large, but it's going to drop a quarter. It's been about $24 billion for the last couple of years, and the budget proposal $18 billion. So a pretty substantial cut in their budget. It mostly has fallen on science payloads and science. In terms of human exploration, I've got a graphic that will help explain it. Put myself off the screen for the moment. So in terms of human exploration and moon and programs, you can see here the red line. That's Gateway. Gateway is being phased out at 2027. The funding. SLS is also being phased out, but Artemis 3 are continuing because they needed to get to the moon before China lands. SLS 2 is circumnavigation around the moon, and Artemis 3 is a crewed landing to 2 astronauts. So those 2 missions are continuing, and then it gets phased out. So it's 4 or 5, and you can see the funding level after 2027 it drops as just a wind down. And the same with the Orion. That's a capsule. That's where the crew they're in the capsule, and it takes them towards the moon but doesn't land. It docks with the human landing system. The crew transfer into human landing system. They land on the moon, launch back up, and dock with Orion and head back towards Earth. So that's pretty steady. 2027 that it drops off. And if you look at the blue line, I could bring myself back now. This is commercial moon to Mars. This is the new commercially driven exploration program. So it's starting quite modest, about 800 million. That's because the legacy programs are still funded, and then it ramps up to 2 billion, then 3.5 billion. So that's the new Moon to Mars program. So in addition to that, I mention a few being greenlit in the budget. This is MPHR, the multi-purpose habitat. So it is providing, as part of their barter agreement, to have astronauts going to the moon with NASA, they need to provide value to NASA, and in return they get a seat. So one of the things they're doing is this multi-purpose habitat. You can see them here. Here's one. Here's another. So this is a metallic airlock and inflatable habitat. And for crew here for, I think it's 14 days, that's 2 weeks. It works during the day, lunar day or lunar. And this is like a key piece of technology for the moon. And later, probably, so ESA is providing this, it's just being greenlit for funding. And they're also providing an vehicle. I think I have a graphic for that. Yes, here it is. So this is your large lunar lander. It can land 1.5 tons. It's 1,500 of payload, scientific experiments, rovers, because food, air, power systems, whatever. It's got in this graphic a robotic arm. I don't know if that's part of the spec, but anyway, it can 1.5 tons, which is quite a lot of mass. So Europe is providing these two systems in a barter arrangement, and they're both being greenlit by the NASA budget, which is great. Also, there is this one. This is human exploration to Mars. One of new technology. This is new investment. So in addition to the existing programs like CLPS, Commercial Lunar Payload System, you've got this in dollars. So the greenlighting a mission, $200 million mission, 2030. This will demonstrate entry, descent, and landing. This is human class Mars landing, which I think it's in the video. It has to be Starship, I think. It has to be Starship because there's no other company building human class for Mars. I mentioned maybe Blue Origin may want to think about doing that, but they're kind of with New Glenn. They've got suborbital launches. They've got multiple lunar lander Mark II lunar landers. They're doing a cis lunar transporter. So I think they're prominent. So I don't know if they're going to work on this. So it's probably going to be SpaceX for our mission. There's money for Martian spacesuits, which I think is probably going to be Axiom Space, for commercial payload deliveries to Mars. So the same as CLPS, commercial services, there'll be a commercial Mars payload services. Probably the same model. So that's great for startups. Any startup that's working on landers, rovers to the moon, they can also go to Mars. There'll be some money. There's money for daylights, robotic exploration missions, 120 million, and just tech, 350 tech. So this is all new money. So this is great. The small business grants have been reduced, which I said is pretty important for the small. But there's money here, as you can see, for Mars. So if they can pivot toward Martian rovers, scientific equipment, potentially they can get funding that way. So yes, bring up some comments. So Wayne's Will says, short-sighted is my take. It looks at flashy stuff, not the economically viable stuff. Yeah, well, there's $1 billion for Mars. There's commercial Mars services. They continue with commercial lunar payload services, and they're going commercial for the heavy lift systems and human exploration of Moon and Mars. Yeah, we'll just see how that goes. And as I say in the video, the budget is not approved. Quite likely they will just roll over previous funding from last year as a continuing resolution at 24 billion. Or there could be changes to the budget, who knows. Wingsley says there are going on with NASA in 2026 proposals from both the White House and Congress. It's dizzying, discouraging. This is an edited comment. So he also goes on to say, NASA was already seriously recording the September 2024 findings released by National Academy of Science, Engineering and Medicine. But by all means, let's keep wasting billions while the rest of NASA starves for funding. Washington chooses to wake up and smell the coffee. The administration's budget proposal and Congress reaction to it, because the real problem with NASA is politics, and it's a bipartisan problem. Whenever there's a new NASA administration, usually lots of things get cancelled, and new projects get started, older ones get defunded. That's just typical for NASA, going on a long time, unfortunately. I mean, ISS was being threatened with being defunding, but because there's international partnerships, I think it makes it a lot harder to bring myself up here now. I think because NASA went the way of partnerships with the ISS, so Russia and ESA and JAXA, that makes it a lot more difficult. There's funding from other countries. So that's one of the reasons ISS wasn't cancelled. Artemis is again the same way. That is, you got ESA involved, you got JAXA, you got 50 other countries involved in Artemis, and as I mentioned, Argonaut and the multi-pat. So other countries are contributing a lot of equipment, and that reduces the. So hopefully, all the space community working together can take us to Mars. And I don't mention in the video, but JAXA is also providing a pressurized rover for the lunar surface called Lunar Cruiser. So countries are contributing. So hopefully, all of us together can go to the moon and then later Mars. I guess we'll see. So that is the second video. I did this one on the NASA budget, and then just yesterday, if I can bring it up, there I am. That space startup news. So I covered a few items in this news video. I covered Redwire. This see on the graphic here on the right. They're working on Golden Dome, which is the anti-ballistic glass. A lot of companies will be working on this because there's $175 billion, a huge amount of money, a huge amount of funding. So any space startup company, they're working on satellites, some of that money. So Redwire is involved. They're looking at what products, what software, what they can contribute to Golden Dome. And the same with Sierra Space here. Space works on the space plane, the Dream Chaser space plane. They also produce a range of satellites, building this Victory Works production facility for defense-related satellite. They're working on the tracking layer for the Space Development Agency. I don't think that's part of Golden Dome, but maybe it will be integrated in Golden Dome. It basically tracks missile launches, and so they're working on that. They've got contracts already, and I'm sure they're looking for more work to do with Golden Dome. And also then Astrolab, this is their Flip rover, and there is a smaller version of their Flex rover, and it's launching on the Griffin 1 mission to the moon at the end of 2025. It's launching on a Falcon Heavy, and it should be heading towards the moon at the end of the year. Then it was able to launch. It will be launching on the Astrobotic mission is the Viper rover, NASA's Viper rover, which I think cost $600 million, has been cancelled, cost overruns. So there was space for something else, and Astrobotic decided to Astrolab rover. So that will be launching at the end of the year, and then they'll have their Flex rover, which is a larger manned or crewed rover. Astronauts can use it. It's got a robotic arm, and that will be the very logistics and deploying surface elements on the lunar surface. And then I covered Vast Space. I think I have a graph. Put myself in the corner. So this is a commercial space station. This is a mock-up. That's what it looks like. You get there on a Dragon vehicle, and it's supporting, I think, 2 to 4 crew. They can stay there for 30 days, and it's launching next. This is completely privately funded. They have a larger hit they're proposing to NASA as a commercial LEO destination. So it's just showing you around. Yeah, you basically you can you got beds, got storage, and then you got the common area he's coming into, he's walking into here. There's common area there, and then the other side you've got the scientific where you can do experiments. Yeah, there'll be like 10 of those lockers. So already a number of companies have already signed up to put their payloads on this station, and then you've got a nice window you can look out of there. So that is vast. So okay, bring myself back up here. So those are the companies I covered this week on Space News. There are a few more little stories that I didn't cover. If I bring them up here, bring this up. So there was an issue on the International Space Station. There's a leak side. So the Axiom 4 mission has been postponed indefinitely. I think it's pushed back while the leak is investigated. The International Space Station is pretty old. It's old now, and it needs to be deorbited soon. There's leaks. The leaks have been going on for years now, and it's only going to get worse. So that's why the commercial stations are really important, and hopefully NASA will fund them. The funding in the budget for commercial space stations is 300 million, and it goes up to 600 million. Personally, I think it needs to be a lot more. Anyway, there's a leak on the ISS. Lunar posted this render of their lunar rover. It's a manned lunar rover. I think it's called Eagle. It's one of the 3 designs that are competing for a NASA award. One of these rovers is either going to be Intuitive Machines, or it's going to be another company that I can't remember at the moment. That potentially will get the NASA contract for this large crewed lunar rover. So that's this render from them, and then this is Gilmour Space. You can see their payload here. Here's the payload. It's Vegemite. So their very first rocket called Eris-1 is due to launch. They got a launch license last year in December. They've had a few problems getting the permits. They had where the payload fairing jettisoned while it was on the ground. So that's been replaced. I think they've got to the bottom of the technical issue. And they're, I think, going to come up with a launch date next week. Net is no early, so the earliest they will launch, we'll probably find out next week. So that's Gilmour Space, that's Australia's launch company. And Eric Berger says, yes, it's totally congestion at the site, holding the UK rocket companies back. So he's kind of being a bit sarcastic here, suggesting really to do with congestion. Basically, these rocket companies, I did it, by the way, you can look at that video. There's about 3 companies trying to launch from Saxford. It's all certified vertical launch site in Europe. It's in Scotland. So RFA, Rocket Factory Augsburg, has a launch pad. They're going later this year probably, but you also have Skyrover, you also have Arbeck, Impulse. There's various other companies trying to launch, but they don't have launch pads, and they're not going to launch this year. It's probably going to be next year. So we'll just see how it goes. It's not really. These are brand new launch companies. So the very first orbital launch will be delayed. It's not unexpected. Just like Gilmour Space has been delayed. So I'm not surprised really. So yeah, that is the space news this week. In terms of what I'm going to cover next week, I'm probably going to cover some Mars, some lunar stuff. I have a lunar base design that I want to cover, the PDF first before I do that, and then I'll do something else which I'm not sure about, some kind of not decided yet. So anyway, that's the live stream for this week. Thank you for joining, as every week, same time, same format. So please join me next time. Thank you.